May the Lord open.
And also with you.
That's not... Gabe, we watched like 3 seasons.
They always say, may God bless your womb.
It's not what they say at all.
You know how they say it.
May the Lord open, praise
your legs,
be.
and then there's the commander's seed in you.
Oh my God.
That's what they said. You're welcome. All right, moving on. How's the history?
It's not better. So yeah, we were saying stuff. We said last week, what we talked about. History, the oppression, la da.
Yes.
Bad time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a bad time, but also it's like because people are looking at it wrong. So like we have traditionalist views on these topics and their bias in looking at it, and they're manipulating like science, Darwinism, and Christianity and other religions to basically be like, women are less.
Yeah.
All they're good for is babies now.
Yeah.
What if no babies no more? We're going to need to make those ladies have babies, is what they're saying.
They need to have babies.
Yes. And there's that presentation of what we looked at society as, where it's just, if you're looking at it through a non-biased lens, you see more of just like, out of necessity, coexistence between men and women as a means to continue existing.
Yeah.
Like, for there to be more men and women, sometimes... when a man and maybe a woman or whoever love each other very much.
Yes.
They have the stuff, babies happen.
Yeah. They have the stuff. Tell us more.
All right. So,
That's fine. It's a different podcast. It's a different podcast.
But yeah, it's necessary for species survival for us to procreate.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you.
My argument is that people are trash, we're all parasites, we don't need to be here no more. Let us just stop having babies.
No, that's not an argument.
Just let it be.
Okay.
Whatever has been will be, and then there's no more.
Yeah.
And then the planet recovers, and it's a grand old time. But what they're saying is, is that babies need to continue happening, and by any means necessary, essentially. So today, we're going to figure out, basically, if Handmaid's Tale can happen. What do y'all think?
Probably.
What do you think? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
I do want to make a blanket statement that a version of Handmaid's Tale does exist in the world, just like not the exact same thing, but women are actively repressed across the globe.
That happens a lot.
Some more terrifying than here, but we're going to talk about America because that's where we live. And also it's like that's where Handmaid's Tale is pitched. Like that's where it is in the book. So for context, that's what we're going to do. But as we did last week, we're going to have a definition section of the History Corner. Are you excited?
We're learning.
Learning. Yay. You're learning.
And from the safety of your home.
Yeah, let's get the scary party started. It's a fun time. So we're going to learn a new term. It's called creative destruction. It sounds really fun, right? So it's a term coined in 1942.
Title of my sex tape. All right, continue.
Nice. We can still have those. It's great. So it's a term coined in 1942 by Austrian economist Joseph Schumpeter, which is a fun last name, to explain the ways in which technology and innovation develop, and that is not a scary definition. You hear that, you're like, oh wow, I wonder how those things develop. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But if we further defined it, creative destruction describes the deliberate dismantling of an established process in order to make way for an improved method of production. So like completely getting rid of the old, bringing in the new.
Yeah.
The theory of creative destruction assumes that basically there's a winner and a loser, because destruction, you're thinking like someone is losing something.
Yeah.
And the idea is that you're destroying things that have been around for a very long time for the means of innovation. Innovation is generally seen as a positive word.
Yeah.
I'm going to argue euphemism in this hypothetical society where America is now this.
Yeah. And I mean, arguably, Gilead does a lot of good things.
They
have
do
the
help
numbers.
save the planet because they murder everybody.
I mean, but they got the numbers on paper. It looks like
Babies
they did
happen.
it.
Yeah, look at it. Colonies making the pollution go away.
Yeah.
Totally great, right? Right? No. It's not. So, like, as the commander states in the show, better never means
For everyone.
better for everyone. It always means worse for some. So, I honestly think when I interpreted creative destruction, I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect way to describe what they did in the show, in that they completely destroy the original society, murder everybody who does not agree with them, and start from scratch, kind of, in the sense where it's like, whatever life was before, that doesn't exist. Burn all the libraries, get rid of the books. Women who read, they cut off their hands. Like, it's a whole situation. So we're going to use that word as we kind of delve into, like, will this happen?
Okay.
And I would argue it already is kind of happening, but very slowly. And we're all kind of being gaslit into, like, thinking it's not that bad. So...
That you're being a hysterical female.
Yeah, or it's just like, it's not going to be that bad. Like, it's not happening.
It could never happen.
It could never happen. So, like, I would honestly say, like, it's a very American thing right now to think we are above the fears of the world. I mean, like, we watch Parasite and not realize that it applies to us.
Here,
That's a fun thing that Korea has.
Yeah.
Wow, great movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Lucky us.
We are so ignorant to the fact that, like, we can be hurt.
Yeah.
Or, like, can be changed in any way. Like, we all think our freedom is a universal, or should be, you know what I mean? Like, individual in how we operate. We believe, like, as individual people, that we deserve basic human rights, humanity, the right to choose what we want to do with our bodies, existence, voting, property, etc. Like, you know, we are all individual people. Our individual needs and wants and desires matter. And they do, but what I'm saying is, like, in this hypothetical world where it's like a collective, like, there is a need for humans to exist. It is based on what's happening now. Like, we already kind of have that under a different lens. So if we're considering, like, the way attacks against abortion have developed, specifically very recently, since basically Trump has been elected, it's really scary, some of the stuff that's been happening. And specifically in ways, like, the things that they are attacking are just so removed from what actual women bodies are.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who don't know what ectopic pregnancies are, which are not like, that's not a baby.
Yeah.
And they're like, there was a
danger.
Yeah, you could die from it. Like, it's not supposed to be inside of you.
Yeah.
They have to take it out. But I remember reading a little while back that they were going to, like, jail doctors for removing ectopic pregnancies and try to put them back in.
I do remember.
So it's
seeing
like total, just not any knowledge of what a human woman's body is, should have, needs, etc. And you see that a lot of Handmaid's Tale because they only have men doctors who like are not experts in their field, and like you don't have the technology to tell what the baby is anymore. Like, they've just gone back a ton just because of this idea that there's men are the best and men need to have the jobs and men need to do this and that and the other. So we have people just like who have no idea what women's bodies are making the choices for women. Yeah. And this horrifying timeline that I got from Planned Parenthood. .com of all the ways abortion's been attacked, basically since Trump's been elected, but I'm specifically going to talk about 2019 because a lot has happened in 2019 that was like really not cool. So we're going to go through it real quick. February 22nd, Trump-Pence administration issues the Title X gag rule. I remember hearing about this. It's an attempt to ban providers in the Title X program from telling millions of patients how they can safely and legally access abortion. So it's basically like getting rid of the knowledge on how to safely do so. So it doesn't get rid of abortions, it gets rid of safe abortions, essentially. 2019, we have like all the lies and basically saying like all these things that are out of context. We don't know what women's bodies are. We're saying babies are being murdered. We're waiting till like way too late in the pregnancy to get rid of the babies. And it's like
that, yeah,
and just like basically really getting pro-life people heated up and extra upset about the whole situation.
Yeah, they were spending all those like videos and stuff.
Like just basically a big smear campaign from like April winter and spring of 2019 into like May. So May 1st, the state adopts 37 new restrictions on abortion rights and access, which has been like happening since the beginning of 2019. This one is the really bad one. May 7, 2019, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed 6-week abortion ban into law, making the state the fourth in 2019 to enact basically an unprecedented, unconstitutional ban of abortion. And they're basically saying you can't do it, but Roe v. Wade is still in existence. So technically, it is still legal, but they're making it very complicated for people to access these things. May 15th, 2019, Alabama enacts a near total ban of abortion, where it includes anyone who has been raped or victims of incest. And anti-abortion politicians basically say that they hope it'll reach the Supreme Court so that Roe v. Wade can be overturned. So that's all the things that have happened recently. It's not like the...
It's gross.
Yeah, it's super gross, right? And there's like, ever since Trump's got elected, there's like a very long list. If I went through the whole thing, I would have taken up the whole podcast. It just like very subtle, one at a time, knocks at women's rights and like basically trying to take us back to before when abortion was not allowed, before Roe v. Wade. And I think the moral of the story is it's people saying they have the rights to our bodies that have no rights to our bodies. So we have a president who said on TV that he would grab them in the what's, and I don't know if I could say that on a podcast.
I don't think that. Probably not on ours.
All right, cool. You know what I mean. Grab them without consent. So assault, sexual assault is what he said that you should do. And he has
he
done.
Could do, yeah.
And he's our president.
Yeah, and then you got Justice Kavanaugh, who also...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, there's the whole culture of, like, it's our fault, dressing a certain way. It's like, but that's... Women have been dressing all sorts of ways. And we've always, not always, but, like...
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
All of modern society... and before have been victims of these things because of manipulation, the use of religion or science incorrectly, basically any way to kind of keep us in the lane that we are nothing but mothers and wives. The fact that we used to not be able to have bank accounts or own property is insane, and it wasn't that long ago.
No.
So this false sense, like we're a generation out. Or like 2 generations out of like directly being impacted by that. So we have this false sense of security and that like we cannot go back and we know what we would be losing, but we have this idea that it's impossible and we're fighting, but I feel like there's this whole idea where it's like they haven't come for us yet or come for me yet. The whole thing where it's like, oh, they haven't gotten us yet, so it doesn't directly impact me.
Or, you know, Offred's lines where she's just like, you know, we didn't do anything, or like, you know, they came for this and we let them, like we came for this and then we didn't do anything then, and it's like until it's too late, and it's like all those times you could have stood up for it. Yeah,
and it's the idea that it's like convenient to do that, you know, that we're safe and we want to just like not be bothered, we want to be our lives, you know, we don't want to deal with it. And the reality is, a lot of things have been happening recently. That's not to say, like, we are in Gilead as of right now, but we are frogs in water that is approaching boiling, and we need to, like, pay attention to the laws that are being passed, because the way that they put laws into play is very manipulative, in that they write in things into laws that have nothing to do with certain things. Like, be like a law on healthcare reform, and then there's, like, 87 pages in a small little section of that bill, there's something that's totally not okay in there, and they try to hide it so that people pass it, because it's a lot of good stuff at the front, and then you have people losing their fundamental rights.
Yeah, and people are just sleeping on this.
Yeah, and we just basically have this idea, like the culture around us is that, you know, it's our fault. Our bodies are not ours. We're supposed to be wives and mothers.
And they're going to do anything to keep us in those places.
And I honestly think if it comes a time where, like, what's the word? What's it called? When you have babies, where you can have those.
When you're a mother? What do you
No.
mean?
The
fertility?
Fertility. If fertility rates go down,
Yeah.
which I think they have, honestly, if they continue to do so, and it becomes even harder and harder for us to have babies, that there's already such a view of, like, in the pro-life mentality is like, how could you murder that baby? How could you not have this baby?
Yeah.
There are people out there who want to have babies so bad and can't.
Yeah.
So you're horrible. Like, you're the worst kind of woman is the way that they view them. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're so far off from a reality where we are forced.
Yeah. People are so offended when people just don't want to have children. Who would want to bring children into this world?
Yeah.